Life throws you punches. Trauma, life, and burnout. I've lived through it all, and I've built something for the fighters that refuse to stay down. If you're ready to stop playing small and own your story, then this is where you belong. The Unstoppable Network is where the overcoming stories are getting very loud. From veterans to survivors to trailblazers, sharing their story of turning their pain into power. Welcome to the Unstoppable Network, where we turn your mess into a message. All right, welcome to another episode of the Unstoppable Network. I'm your host, Dorothy O'Dell, and today we have Scott Treanor. How are you doing, Mr. Treanor?
I'm doing excellent.
Cool. We are here with C2C PTSD mental health walk here at the Kingsville branch, 188, right? 188. I keep forgetting for some reason. Sorry about that. But Scott, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, the reason I'm here, let's jump into that right away. The reason that I'm here is because of Helping Our Heroes, which is a fund that we started. Well, Helping Our Heroes has actually only been around for about a year, but we started raising money for our cause 10 years ago. So that's really where I'm at right now. My background is not that important.
Everybody's important, Scott. All right, so tell us what helping our heroes is all about.
So Helping Our Heroes is a fund that we raise money to pair PTSD service dogs with local veterans. Local veterans being throughout the Kingsville community, Windsor, Essex. That's our cause.
Okay, so what made you decide to start this organization?
When we started 10 years ago, we were raising money to support veterans in a manner that they felt that they needed support, where Veterans Affairs may not be able to help them. We found that we weren't getting a lot of applications, so we shifted it over to the PTS Dog Foundation, but we're sending our money up to one of the national organizations. And then we realized that none of that money was coming back to our local community. So that's when we said, okay, you know what, we're going to shift it again, and we're going to raise some money to support local veterans right here.
Wow. So are you a veteran yourself, or have you ever served, or know somebody who has served?
So no, I'm not a veteran. I've never served. All of this is because of my father, Scott Treanor. He was World War II Navy. And I can tell you this about my dad. He never ever talked about the war, so I never ever knew what he really went through, or maybe what he was going through even personally when he was home.
Right. Wow. And well, thank your dad for his service. But some people don't like to talk about their service time, and we meet them where they're at.
Yeah.
Because no sense forcing them. But that is such a worthy cause, helping our veterans, especially with their PTSD. And so you guys provide service dogs for the veterans. Earlier today, we had the distinct pleasure of interviewing Morris, one of the recipients of one of your dogs. Your first recipient?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Morris is such a sweetheart. If you did not see his interview, please go check it out. It's on our website, or on our YouTube channel, the Unstoppable Network. But Morris is a very humble veteran. He was in service for over 40 years. And well, I don't want to tell you what triggered him to actually finally get the service dog. You need to go watch his episode. But it is an incredible story to hear, and I'm so happy that our local community is helping our veterans. We hear a lot of different organizations that do that, but that is something that, especially right here in Kingsville, Ontario. Like, Kingsville is special to me. My grandparents lived here for over 40 years. And so it's wonderful to see that here in our local community.
Listen, I can't quit smiling. I mean, nobody's more pleased than I am to be able to say, yep, we paired our first service dog with our first veteran. Our trainer is right here in Kingsville, Ryan Isley from Ontario K9. And Dorothy, and I'm going to tell you, this guy knows his stuff. Okay, he's a great trainer, but we know that he's probably got another 2, 3, maybe 4 pups right now that probably will turn out to be service dogs. Now we have to figure out how we're going to get the money to get these dogs in veterans' hands.
Well, that's a good question. So how do you get the money then for these dogs and the training?
So right now we hold 4 annual events, which is our Trainer Memorial Dart Tournament. We're doing a music fest this year. We will be doing a 5 and 10K walk. And then we're looking at doing a gala. Okay. So raise funds that way.
Right.
We're also chasing corporate funding for any corporations that understands and realizes how meaningful this is. And it's a way to give back and say thanks to our veterans for keeping us safe and allowing us to keep our freedoms. Hopefully we can get some corporations on board to help us out too.
Wow. So if you are a corporation and you're listening to this, I know of a couple off the cuff, which we'll talk about off air because I don't want to put them on the spot here. But if you're a corporation that loves to give back to our veterans, definitely connect with Scott here. So what's the best way to connect with you?
You can go to our website. All the information's there. helpingourheroes.com, I believe it is. It's Helping Our Heroes. Yeah, all our information is there. How to donate, how to fill out the veteran application, all the information about us is all there. The one thing I do want to say, Dorothy Ann, is this, right? Just so everybody realizes each individual dog costs upwards of $30,000 to be placed into a veteran's hands. And it takes anywhere from 12 to 14, 16 months to have these dogs trained.
That's a lot of work.
It is.
That's a lot of money and a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, our veterans are obviously are very deserving of the service dog. A lot of veterans, suffer from PTSD, obviously from their time in the military, as well as, once they transition, that what all that entails. But I mean, obviously $30,000 is a small place to pay for somebody who signed on the dotted line for their country. But that 16 months, I didn't realize it took that long.
Up to 16 months. Some can be trained quicker depending on the actual personality of the dog itself, but it can take up to 16 months. Yeah.
Wow. So obviously that $30,000, is that just for the pup, or is that including the training as well?
That's all in. That's including the pup, the training, taxes, like HST, everything. That's bottom line.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll also get a list of when your events are from you. We will have all that in the show notes as well. That way people, if you're local, they can obviously come to your events. And is the corporate sponsoring on your website as well?
Yes, there is an area there for any business or corporate sponsor that wants to jump in. Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Wow. That I did not know this. That it, the commitment and money wise and time. But that is so great. I mean, and Scott has not stopped smiling since Morris was here today with Twilight is the name of his dog. Yep. And so it's probably one of the highest honors you could probably bestow to a veteran, and to see him so lit up and to see him so happy. Twilight's been with him for 2 nights now. I think he said.
Yep, 2 nights.
Since this interview has taken place. So it's something, it's wild to see, from start to finish, a whole year of this transitioning, and now it come to fruit.
Yeah, it's amazing to read Morris's story and to understand what Morris was going through. Morris is a lieutenant colonel, I believe.
Yeah.
And his honor and his pride never allowed him to say, okay, I'm going to fill out an application to apply for one of these dogs.
Yeah.
And with a little bit of encouragement, he was finally saying, okay, I will do this. He was always put his men first. And he is more deserving than anybody I can think of right now. I mean, he's such an honorable man.
Yeah. He said he was in charge of over 400 people at one time while he was in service. So that's a lot of men, especially if you're in combat. Like, I don't know if specifically if that was when he was in Afghanistan, but could you imagine being in charge of 400 people, trying to keep them all alive?
No, I don't want to try and understand that.
Like, it just blows my mind. You know, you're in charge of 450 people or 400 plus people, trying to keep them all alive so that they can come back to their families. And what he said in his interview was always the veteran first, like always the man first. And so, you know, he's sharing his story with me. And after he shared his story and after how he got Twilight, I said to him, I'm like, the man came first. That's exactly what came to my mind.
Yeah,
I'm like, the man came first.
Yeah.
I said, I'm so proud of you for putting yourself first. I've interviewed over 100 veterans in the last 5 years, or probably more than that, and they never want to talk about, you know, when you say thank you for your service, they're very humble and they're like, oh, you know, but it was deeply honoring to interview him, knowing that 40 years in service, and he always putting the men first, and he finally put himself first.
You know, it's funny because the way that Morris put his men first is the way our country should put all service individuals first. You know, sometimes I think we forget of why we do have our freedoms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, these service individuals, past, present, and even future, you know, they're all going to need some help somewhere down the line. I'm not saying PTSD or PTSI, but you know, it could be anything. Here's the one number that I want to put out there. It is known that every year 10% of our service members that come back home will suffer from PTSI or PTSD, right? Mm-hmm. There are about 900 individuals that leave the service every year. 90, that's 90 people.
Mm-hmm.
So let's multiply that over the number of years. It's incredible. We never realized the magnitude of the situation here in our small community in Essex County until we opened up our application filing system. And then when we saw it, we went, oh my God, it's much bigger than we could have ever imagined. So yeah, we're really pleased and very happy that this thing's on our way.
I so love that. And you know, if you're here today at the branch, we from 4 to 7 we are doing the mental health clinic.
Mental health expo.
Yeah. Yes, sorry, thank you. And so it's great to see all these organizations here coming out, supporting our community, and just, you know, talking about what people don't want to talk about. You know, unfortunately, there's still a stigma around mental health. As somebody who lost a family member to suicide, that's why I'm loud about this, right? Mm-hmm. The PTSD is one thing, and back when I started interviewing people 5 years ago, it was 22 veterans a day were dying by suicide. Mm-hmm. That number has significantly increased. When I did a 24-hour fundraiser for veterans 2 years ago with civilians, it was 156 people a day were dying by suicide. That was 2 years ago.
Yep.
Now you still have the after effects of COVID. You have, you know, more people coming out of service with our veterans, and it's scary. I mean, I live in Windsor. Every day there's something in the news about another person dying, and we need to keep getting that message out there and getting people the help that they need.
So it's kind of twofold. As we talked about, service members are very proud, and they don't want people to know that they might be suffering.
Yeah.
Okay. And that goes along with any mental health. Mm-hmm. So that stigma that you talk about, yes, is still out there, but there are so many organizations, great organizations, mm-hmm. that are trying to break that stigma. And to have this event today and see the vendors that are here, mental health, helping our heroes, C2C for PTSD. And sorry, I can't rattle off all the other ones, but there's probably 9 or 10 vendors here, all wrapped around the mental health issue.
Yeah.
So it's amazing to see how many people are coming out to support this.
Absolutely. Um, Enlist is another one
Yes,
that's here.
Enlist. Yes.
And I was speaking to that gentleman. Sorry, I forget his name.
Mike. Yep.
Mike.
Yep.
Okay, so Mike is also a veteran, and so he is out here talking about PTSD and helping our veterans with that. And Veterans Affairs is actually one of their sponsors, which I found absolutely incredible.
Yes. Yep.
Because whether Veterans Affairs here in Canada or Veterans Affairs in the States, I always hear people like bad mouthing them.
Yep.
But it's good to see that that organization is really out there, really supporting and helping our veterans, and he can. And so, sorry, it must have been a Wi-Fi glitch there. Technology is great when it works, but it's it's so great, like you said, to see these organizations coming together under one banner of mental health and PTSD and helping our veterans. They sign the dotted line, giving away their freedoms to defend our country. So we need to help them any way that
absolutely, 100%. And the thing that I also realize is the fact that the more we talk about this, the more people are going to realize that it's not a weakness, it's a courage.
Yeah.
It's a courage to stand up and say, I've got a problem, I need help. Mm-hmm. And that's why these organizations are here, mm-hmm. so that they can reach out to somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you said that, and thank you so much, Scott, for taking time out of your busy schedule today. This interview has been a year in the making, folks. I'm just going to say that.
I got no comment.
Scott and I used to work together in a prior life, and so when I walked in here into this exact same Legion a year ago when Chad was here, I was just like, I didn't not know anything about your organization. I just knew that he retired and had no idea what he was doing with his life. And then I found out, and I'm like, well, you need to come on. You need to share about it. So here we are today.
Finally.
Finally.
And it's not Dorothy Ann's fault. That I will say.
I'm persistent to a point, and then I don't want to bug anybody. And I know timing is everything. Sure. I have faith, yeah. But when the time is right, it will happen. And so that's why I'm like, yay, we'll get it done. So I cornered him in the office here at the Legion, and
as you can see by the backdrop with all the files and everything up there.
Yeah. Funny, I've never been in here. I've been in this Legion, I don't know how many times, and I've never been in the office, but now I am. Anyways, thank you so much, Scott, for your time.
You're very welcome.
Any last words for our guest today?
My last words would be, our fund is small but powerful. Our committee is a committee of handpicked individuals that are determined to help every veteran through the issue that they need help with. We do not want any veteran to fall through the cracks, and our committee is committed to that. Love it.
So go to helpingourheroes.com. I had to look at a shirt. That's what I was looking at. Go check it out. Please donate if you can. If you can't, but you know of somebody who can, yes, please pass on that information. Yes. I will get all that information and have it in the show notes for you. Such a deserving organization, to put your. Are you looking for volunteers too?
Always looking for volunteers. And anytime you see one of our events and you want to volunteer, there's information on there about volunteering. Our committee, there's myself, my wife Kim, our daughter Sydney, and a really good friend of ours, Ann. Those contact numbers are all there. James also the president of our organization. Those numbers are all there. Reach out to somebody. We'll get you the right information.
Perfect. All right. So go check them out. And if you could take this interview and share it with everybody that you think could benefit from it, because we want to get this name out there. We want to get Helping Our Hero out there to as many people as we possibly can, so that we can help more veterans. And subscribe to our channel, please. That would be greatly appreciated. And remember, same time, same channel next week. Bye for now.